Hi everybody, something a little bit different again. We're back to the bulbs, but early bulb catalogues and early publications. Thought I'd show some of these for general interest. These are books and papers I've picked up in the past. Don't ask me from where. First one's the story of the lamp. Just show some of the pages. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Got various bits of information. Goes back to the early days. We have a gentleman there flying a kite. Storm up there. Now he'll be well known to the Americans. Also invented bifocal glasses and the lightning conductor, Ben Franklin, also in the history of America. I know he visited Europe at one time. I don't think he ever went to England. In fact, I think the English fell out with him, but he got on very well in France. Now this is going back to the early pioneers. There's a replica of one of the early swan lamps. It's got about Swan, Edison, and the two gentlemen who simultaneously helped to, well, they did invent it, but there was other inventors as well. But they're the two that got the name. Now, just a quick go through these. I don't know if any of you out there have come across this publication. Now, it's dated January 1983. And it was the international news sheet for serious collectors of early incandescent and other lighting, other electronic. It was produced in England by, I'll find the person's name. I think I'm allowed to show this. There's the, obviously not going to show the address, although I don't think the person's there now. If he sees this, please give a shout, because this was a very, very valuable publication. It was done by hand. Got a bit of history there. A real bit of history. Osram lamps. It was a fine piece of history and contains at the time loads of information. As you can see, the Mazda name was used in England. It was also used in France, and it was a manufacturer. It wasn't a type of lamp here, it was the actual manufacturer. The British made it in Rugby. That was the Thompson Houston Company, which was the English side of the American GE. There was crosswords and quizzes. All in all, a very fine publication. Unfortunately, it's no longer available. Fortunately, I have got the complete set, so for references on certain things it does come in handy. I suppose it could be reproduced. I don't know whether I would be allowed to, but there we are. The glow lamp collector. The membership was worldwide, and there was several members, well, more than several members in America, Australia, New Zealand, the continent, and round the world. Got another old publication here. This was produced, I think, by the Science Museum in London at Kensington. It was under the Thorn Lighting Group. Once again, it's got all the early histories. Wells backlight. Of frogs and batteries, referring to Galvani and Volta. All good bits of history coming up to date. The machine that's making the lamps. Quartz studio lamp. The innards and description of a discharge lamp. All much and much of a likeness, but all the same sort of thing. Here we have at the bottom the Peter Cooper Hewitt lamp, which was one of the very first discharge lamps. It had to be tilted to get it to start. And some of the early pioneers of the modern day lighting. Laser lights, showing some of the very early lamps. I don't think many people have got these. I certainly haven't. There we are. That's that one. Electric lamps, 100 years on. We have a catalogue here by a company called General Instrument. They were at one time known as Trivita lamps, then Vitality lamps, and as far as I know they were taken over by a company called Chicago Miniature. I don't even know if Chicago Miniature is still going. They are showing some of the lamps available. There, it's got about the company there. They tended to make very small lamps. Showing some of the lamps, voltage characteristics of neons, how the neon works. Just books that I've picked up through the years. Different types of neons there. Got wire terminal, bi-pin, a few more. Another type there. We've got another one there. This is called a telephone slide, British Post Office number 2. I believe these were made in other types of lamps. They did the neon one. They also did one where the electrodes came the whole length of the glass tube. So it would start where that one starts, but they'd go all the way down to almost the base. And they were used in the Smith's electric clock, the mains operated electric clock, and it was in there to allow the face to glow, so at night time when you woke up it gave a nice gentle orange effect and you could tell the time. They also made this style of lamp with different types of filaments. They made one with a carbon filament and with tungsten filaments, and the colour on the base, this little wedge, they call it a wedge, was a different colour, and that depicted the actual voltage and the lamp. as I say, they were used by the British Post Office. There's something else I was going to say. It's gone. Can't remember. But anyhow, that's what they are. It only shows the neon ones. There is a colour code to these, to what the colouring is, but I know grey's 50 volt tungsten. They use a black, which was the neon one as well, but this one I don't know the number. There's sometimes just letters. There we are. Lamp number 6L. Yeah, I've actually found 2 of these. The one that is shown in the book is this one here. They call it a 6L. Made by Hyvac. It probably is 6L, it's just not very clear. My eyes are not as good as they used to be, but it's Hyvac, and it is that one. It would be 6L. Now that was the one that was used in the telephone exchanges, and being a wedge type, these would be pushed into a little hole where you would view at the end of the lamp. So if you're on a switchboard, that's what you'd see. There'd be a little, it's called an opal at the front of it, so it covers it up. It may be white opal or whatever. They were often coloured, and they were called supervisory lamps. They were used in the old switchboards, in the actual telephone exchanges. The selectors would have one of these in, well, not a carbon, it would have a normal filament bulb. And there's the other one, which was made for the Smiths company for these clocks. As you can see, it's slightly longer. Same voltage, no resistors, so these would have to be put on. This one's Hyvac, and the 66 refers to the year. And this is known as a 26L. The other one was 6L. This is a 6L. Unfortunately I can't bring it right up, but you can see a 6 there, so yeah, that's got to be the one. It's a 6L. Anyhow, I've laboured that point long enough. Next catalogue we come to is rather interesting. This was a catalogue showing, amongst others, the navigation lamps. And at the front it shows you rather a weird filament configuration. I think the reason for this was that the light would be pretty much the same all the way round, and it would never be blotted out if the connecting wire to the filament, this one, came down as a straight line. There would be a time when that would block out the light from the filament, and it would probably interfere if it was a light where the filament was shown like being used. What am I trying to find out? If the lamp turned round to give certain flashes, or appears to give flashes, you don't want to interfere with the light, and I think that's why it's done like that. These are quite unusual lamps, and they don't turn up that often, but you never know, they can turn up. This is a catalogue by Soren Madsen lamp AS. As I say, they've done the boat type, candle lamps, current indicators, the standard lamps, oven lamps. They did church lamps as well. There we are, church lamp. That's candle. No, church candle. And what it was, they had the filament. There's the gentleman concerned. The lamps would run at a lower temperature, so they were long lasting, but last a long time. Other ones they've done, the various ones. different countries tended to have different navigation lamps. The construction was more or less the same. They're the tubular ones. But well, that's that catalogue. And lastly, for this little lot, don't you ought to go to sleep, we've got one by Toshiba. Now many people don't realise that Toshiba was one of the leading manufacturers, if not the leading manufacturer, in Japan. And it's got about their history there. Some of you will be able to read this. I can't, but if anyone wants to know any more, give me a shout. It's the early days of the company, and they were licensed by Edison to produce the first electric lamps in Japan. The name was formed from two companies. The Shibari company and the other company name I've completely forgotten. There was two companies in Japan that got together to form Toshiba, and as you can see, it's quite a very old established company. Their bulbs are similar to our ones. Tokyo Shibari. There's Tokyo Shibari and Tokyo Electric and Shibari, and it was formed into the name Toshiba, who are a very large company. There's some of their lamps, and I've got a visitor coming over to see me. Hello, you. As you can see, my pussycats like to get in on the thing. Some of your different tubes, some of your other lamps they've made. This catalogue's fairly old, so the modern stuff won't be there. Different lamps. Come on, you! I've got to turn the pages. While you're telling me it's about time I shut up, I think it probably is. Anyhow, everyone, any comments please make. I can give you any information on any of these books. If at any time you think there might be a bit of information in these that you would be helpful, give us a shout. If I haven't got it, I'll always say I haven't got it, but you never know. Anyhow, once again, thanks for watching. Any questions, please subscribe. Any comments, leave, you know. Anyhow, thanks again. Thank you.